Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to teach to you 10th class. 10th class, chapter 8, how to organism reproduce. Here is according to that sexual reproduction and asexual reproductions. According, I am going to give to the proper explanation each by each. So, dear students, very carefully listens. So, this is the 8th chapter. So, this chapter to maximum mark will be coming to the board examinations. So, all the students very carefully listen. First of all, I am going to explain to you asexual reproductions. So, what is mean by asexual reproduction and what are the uses of asexual reproductions? One by one, can I explain very probably? It involves only one parent. What are the difference between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction? So, sexual reproductions involve to the two parents. Asexual reproduction involve to only one parents. It involves only one parent. There is no formation and fusion of gametes. So, here is never happen because of when the two parents and two gametes are involved, at that part the fusion will be running. So, here is only one parent, so is it never possible to the fusion and gamete formations. The young ones formed the almost identical to each others as well as to the parent cell. Yes, of course. Oh, how is the parent cell have look like same will be coming to the daughter cell. But sometime as well as possible rare, that also minor difference, not for the major difference. If you cut to the hibiscus rosa sinensis stem and if you forming to the some other places, so you can observe it how the parents plants coming to the flower color are like that, or same colors will be coming to the which one you cultivated, that itself flower coming up, that both flowers are same colors only. It is never have to the any variation. If the parents red color, so daughter plants also red in color. If parents green in color, so daughter plants also green in color. So like that have a same pitch. Next, asexual reproduction generally occurs during the favorable environmental condition and when there is an abundance of food. Yes, actually one thing you want to understand, asexual propagation when that organisms getting to the favorable condition situations. What is the favorable conditions? So when that plants are getting to the proper water and minerals, according to that growth will be we are going to decide it. So here is what abundance of food. Yes, it means how that the plants are getting to the properly nutrition. According to that, the plants growing will be decided. Next, it is a faster method of reproduction. Yes, of course, it is very fastly. If one seed to plants growing, it means that will be taking to the much time. But the stem to growing or roots to growing or leaf to growing, so that will be very fastly getting. We are getting to the beneficial. This is one of the faster method of the growing. Next, the type of asexual propagation is a unicellular organism. Yes, unicellular organisms, multicellular organism. So, cell also here we are divided for two pattern. One is unicellular, other one is a multicellular. So, unicellular it means single cell. Uni it means single. Multi it means more than two cells. We say to the multicellular organisms. So, unicellular. Unicellular organism inner. What are the method of the asexual reproduction? So, first one. Binary fissions. So binary fission, here fissions. Fission it means what? The mother cell to the daughter cell dividing, that we have to say to the fission. So here fission we have to divide it for two types. One is a binary fission, other one is a multiple fission. What is a binary fission? Binary fission. Bi means what? Two. One cell two. Just very carefully listen. Can I draw this make a diagram and explain to that? For examples, this is amoeba. Yes, amoeba already given here. Is a binary fusion. Best example is amoeba. So here is nucleus. Like that, amoeba is what not fixed structures. Nucleus have. So what happened? This amoeba is going to the flexible structures. So not only is going to the cell wall and also including to the this nucleus. Nucleus elastic type, it should be getting to the movement. After what it will be happen, it will what a full flexible and cut down. First of all, that is divided to the nucleus separately. After the this center part is going to the erasing, and one of the what a separate organism going to start. It is called for the binary fusions. So best example binary fusion का best example इनको बोल सकता, अमीबा को बोल सकता. आप लोग अमीबा को बोल सकता. अमीबा is a best example of the binary fusion. So आप लोग ध्यान से सुनो. Seen in bacteria, protozoa like amoeba and paramecium. In this first Pestophodia withdrawn and karyogenesis. Pestophodia, it means what? Temporary horns. Pestophodia, it means we have to say to the temporary horns. In the nucleus of the parent cell divides and then the cytoplasm divides. Yes, first of all, what will happen? First of all, the nucleus it should be going to be divide. Then after that, the cytoplasms will be going to divide. It occurs during the highly favorable condition. So when this division will be happen, it means when that cells are getting to the favorable situation and condition, at that time only that cells going to be divide. It occurs during the highly favorable condition. The cell division can occur in any plane, as the case of amoeba. Amoeba is not a fixed shape, that is what unfixed shapes. However, organism like Lasminia, also Lasminia amoeba is the best example, and Kala Azar, close to the Kala Azar, which have to the web like the flagella. Flagella, what is mean by flagella? It is one of the moving horns. We have to say it like a Chlamydomonas. This is a Chlamydomonas, the best example Chlamydomonas. Here is what a flagella is available. So this name is called for flagella. We say to the flagella. On end, the binary fusion occurs a definite orientation in relation to the flagellums. So binary fusions already was explained very clearly. So this is the best, amoeba is the best example of the binary fusion. So next we are going to learn about the multiple fusions. What is the multiple fusions? Can I going to explain to you what is meant by multiple fusions? So multiple fusion is the best example of the yeast cells. So yeast cell is the best example of the multiple fusions. Once actually your books also one of the activities was given. So that activities you can read, it means you are going to the understand how you observe to the under the microscope that the yeast cells, multiple fusions. Seen in Plasmodium, the material parasite in this during the unfavorable conditions, the parent cell develops a thick residence wall around itself, forming a crest. Yes, actually it is just very carefully listen to me. When the conditions become the favorable, the yeast wall, the breaks and the plasmodium are released. Actually, that yeast cells here, this is the yeast cells. How it means that outer side one of the coat forming is what it is a temporary coat will be going to forming. Here yeast cells going to the develop to multiple fusion will be happen and making to the much more yeast cells. So continuously will be happen to the continuously you should be start to the reproduction. So much uncountable the yeast cells production will be start. So daughter cells, so the many daughter cells produced the multiple fusion and cell crest, it is nucleus, is a cytoplasm. We have to say the cytoplasms and condition become favorable, the yeast breaks down the plasmodium. So this name is called for plasmodium. Plasmodium. So automatically this plasmodium, what will happen? It should be break down. So it will be break down and coming to outside of the yeast cells, coming out of the yeast cells. Yeast breaks already given, daughter cell is released. This is a daughter cell. All the cells are going to be released out. So cytoplasm and nucleus, the yeast cells have the nucleus and cell yeast and the many daughter cells are produced to the multiple fusion. What is mean by multiple fusion? Multiple fusion means what? Multiple fusion, it means actually it's a multiple fraction method. 2, 4 and 4, 8 and 8 16s and 16 32. So like that multiple fusions, multiply the numericals numbers and the organisms increasing, it is called for that multiple fusion. And buddings, we are going to learn about that budding. What is mean by bud? So one of the full organism itself, one of the small structure, that name is called for bud. So that bud first of all start to grow, that bud to one of the new individual organisms developing, it is called for the budding. So here seen the yeast, budding also best example yeast. The yeast cells develop the production or an outgrowth at this upper end. The nucleus of the parent cells divides and one of them moves into the outgrowth, which grows bigger and finally separates from the parent cells, lead to the independent exceedance. Very often, if the conditions are highly favorable, a chain of buds is formed. Yes, actually, you know very well the yeast. Otherwise, other one best example also have in fungi. Fungi is otherwise fungi is algae. Fungi is a best example. So here is yeast cell was given. You can just carefully listen here. Here is one of the yeast cell was given. So yeast cell and yeast cell budding. Yeast cell is one of the best example. Binary fusion also, budding also. Here, this is name is called for bud. The developing bud हो जाएगा. फिर वो that develop after that new bud will be growing. So that new bud will be making to the separate organisms. So it is one of the best example of the budding. Next we are going to the fragmentation. So fragmentation best example of the algae Spirogyra. Spirogyra basically this algae where we can going to find out, it means that the river range and the pond and lake, some rare Spirogyra will be present to the sea level also. So here Spirogyra is the best example of fragmentations. So seen the multicellular organisms which have the relatively simple body organisms like the Spirogyra. It is a multicellular organism, not for the unicellular organisms. The multicellular organism best example of the fragmentation, it is called for the Spirogyra. Spirogyra is a filamentous body. It is a break into the smaller pieces in the fragments. Each fragment has the capacity formed to the new individual. So one thing I am going to explain to very easily. So just very carefully listen, dear students. So basically this is one of the Spirogyra. It is the best example of the algae. Books are already given to the picture. You carefully listen. Is a nucleus. So here cut down. Actually this is one of the new part of the body. So this new part of the body will be cut down to the several pieces like this. And one more the pieces, and 3, 4, 5 that several pieces going to cut down. So these several pieces will be making to the individual the full developed body. So that only we have to say to that fragmentation. However, all multicellular organism cannot show cell by cell division, but this is a cell by cell divisions and tissues which form organs. Actually is a multicellular organism. It means you know very well that cells component made for the tissue, and tissue is component made for the organs, and organs component made for the organisms. But here is all the multicellular organism not like that patterns following, and a few of the multicellular organisms are doing to this pattern like the fragmentation pattern. So that one best example is a Spirogyra. So all multicellular cannot show to the cell by cell division. What is a cell division? Like the mitotic cell division and meiosis cell divisions, as well as form tissues which form organs. These organs are placed at the different positions in the body. Hence, they need to use more complex method of reproduction. Yes. So when the reproduction at the time you should be using to the much complex formation. So here you can see the regeneration fragments of the Spirogyra and another regeneration fragments, and the fragmentation in Spirogyra is the best example of that algae. And regeneration is the best example of that planaria itself. Yes, regeneration it means once overall organisms cut down the any body parts, that body parts will be developed again that organism. It is called for the regenerations. So it is ability to organism develop their lost parts. So which one part is losing, like that head or tail or mid of the body. So if that lost that part, it ability to grow again. There are some organisms show have the high regenerative capacity. It is also a mean of the reproduction. For example, like a planaria. Planaria is a best example. and recognition is carried out the specialized cells which redivide to form a mass of cells from which different cells undergo changes to become the different cell types and tissues. These changes occur in an organized sequence known as development. You can see here is one of the planaria whole part given to the pictures. So this is called for planaria. So this planaria, one is a head part is cut down, and after the mid part is cut down, after the tail part was cut down. So here head part is available, and head part is developing to the overall body, and mid part available. So rest of the body part is not available, so that will become growth. So after tail part only available, so mid part and the head part is not available, so that will be become to the growth. So this is called for what? Regeneration in a planaria. The best example regeneration is a planaria is best example. So if you know very well, understand that regeneration. So next we are going to the budding. So budding is a best example. Hydra and yeast cells are the best example of the budding. The the present hydra develops the buds lower. So this name actually small structure, you are able to see this small structure. This structure name is called for the bud. So basically the bud will be developed to the new individual organs. A person the hydra develops the bud lower end, and its growth size is finally breaks off and live independently. It means what? It will be going to the breakdown, and what independently it will be start to the grow. It is called for budding. Next is spore formation. Spore formation so basically is the best example for the bread mold. So when you observe to the bread mold, there will be fungi affected to the fungi, and after that spore formation improved touch and spread to the overall places and making to the sporangia. So that the spore should be going to blast and there to spread to the spores. It is a sporangium. We say to that a sporangium. It is one of the best example rhizophus. So thank you so much. Today this class I am going to stop it. So upcoming classes I will be continuing to the what vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation itself, what is the vegetative propagation, and what are the method, what method have in the vegetative propagation. So each I am going to giving to the proper explanation, and also I am guide to you better how to you score to the board examinations. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.